I started placing some of the coral using CJ's aquariums, CJ, his rule of thirds suggestion. So I put some green lacing, taped it on the front of my tank to divide it in thirds so I could kind of get a sense of how to set up some focal points. The focal points aren't exact, but that's okay. I added that purple gorgonian in one of the focal points, put it in yesterday, and it looks happy there, so that's good. And I added this Japanese finger leather, and it's looking quite happy there. It's a little close to the top, maybe 3-4 inches from the top, from the water level. But we'll see how things go. If it becomes unmanageable, I can pop it off there, and I have a space where I can move it down a bit into this little hollow here if I have to. Zoos are open that were on that rock. They're also looking pretty happy. I placed a rock there so they can spread, and it looks like the polyps are starting to lift up and move over there a little bit already. Still have lots of things to place. Still have cleanup to do of this stuff in the front to get the green star polyps off. But just a little update on how things are going today, or where things are today rather. Some yellow zoos I picked up. UFO zoos. Don't know what they are, maybe gobstoppers. This is supposed to be scrambled egg zoos, but I'm not seeing the blue color they're supposed to have. I guess we'll wait and see. Pally Rock is also looking good. Out in full today. Ricordia is quite happy at the back there. I'm going to do my best to keep it in that type of light. And my frag rack with all of my zoos awaiting placement. Lots of variety in color. Trying to get a couple of blues, but not too much success with that. I have these blue hornets right here in the center, and there's supposed to be a bumblebee frag in here, which in the picture looked blue, and I'm not really sure it's going to wind up being the blue that I want for my purposes in here, but we'll find out once everything's all set up and ready to go. So, making some progress. Oh, and how could I forget my green leather? It just flares out the camera. It is so freaking bright. But it's in another focal point area as it spreads up that rock, which I'm hoping it will do. So there we go. Here's the 29-gallon cube in full light. I have 2 lights above this tank. A Chinese black box LED that goes through a 24-hour daylight cycle. And at the back I have some sort of basic Marineland white and blue with a timer on it. I added the second light at the back when I had the SPS coral in here because of the light requirements. I have to decide, I might remove it once everything is ready to go and reposition the Chinese light so it's in the middle of the tank. I wanted to capture it in this light because everything's opening up really nicely. The new Gorgonian is looking really good. Zoos are open. That mushroom in the center there has really grown a lot since I discovered it. I didn't know I had it. Oh, evil green polyps. Oh no, that's a zoo. Sorry. I'm a little paranoid about evil green polyps. Anyway, the Japanese finger leather, looking good. Palithoa grandis. Developing some green in the lower light, which is really cool. There's my orange Bam Bam, toadstool leather. My oyster clam mollusk of some type is hanging in there. Here we are with the 29. I did some work last night and cleaned up the Palithoa colony rock. Took all the green star polyps from it, off of it, scraped them off. Although this morning I was quite annoyed to see that there were a few stragglers on the back that I didn't get. So immediately got the tweezers out and got rid of those. I'm using CJ's rule of thirds suggestion to kind of try to figure out where focal points should be in this tank. And I've kind of got them set up in a way that I like, and also to allow for some growth. Of course, the focal points change with your vantage point, depending on where you're sitting or standing when you look at it. But I thought I would start by trying straight on. So the Pally rock, Pally colony, is in one focal point. The green cabbage leather, I think it justifies being called toxic green cabbage leather. It's super, super bright, is in another focal point. I'm hoping it will grow up along the big rock. Another focal point is the purple gorgonian that I just got this weekend. And I put it up here because I wanted to try and disguise the intake for the pump and the heater in that back corner. By the way, that intake was covered with that turf or bryopsis algae, whichever it is. And I think my blenny's been eating it, or the snails, I'm not sure, but I haven't touched it. I was planning to do some maintenance and clean it up, and it seems to be disappearing. And over here I have, in the fourth focal point, a Japanese finger leather. In the blue lights, it's kind of a neon green color. So here's kind of the basis of how I'm starting out. I moved the frag rack with the zoos over on this side so I could actually see what I was doing. And my next task is going to be to remove all of these bits and pieces here in the center, and I'm going to be trading them into the fish store for hopefully some credit. The hippie zoos do really, really well. They're the little dotted white ones. I don't know what kind of zoo this is, but it's pretty. And there are two kinds of zoos on this rock, plus green star polyps. And some people like combo rocks. And then these others have the evil green polyps, but some people like those too. So I'm going to leave that all intact. I was going to clean it up, but if I'm going to be trading them in, I'm not going to put the work into it. And then this other rock here also has two kinds of zoos on it, and some green star polyps, and I think that Kenya tree is also attached. So, long story short, I do tend to ramble, don't I? I'm hoping to get a decent amount of money from the fish store for the trade-ins, and I have my eye on a pair of black percula clownfish. It's a bonded pair, or raised together. They're not going to separate them, which is fine with me because they already like each other. And when I go next weekend to the fish store with my little trade-ins, if I am meant to have those clownfish, they'll still be there. If not, I might just have to wait and have them call me when they get another pair in. I wasn't going to get clownfish ever again, but putting this tank together, and after watching so many videos on YouTube with really, really nice clownfish, they really swim around a lot, and they're really fun to watch, it seems. I've decided to give it a try again. People can change their mind, I guess. And yeah, so I will do another update of this once I've got some cleanup done on the sand there, and once I start gluing all of the various zoos in place. So there we are.